Okay. All right. So good. So we're recording. So the first thing I want to show everyone is this document that kind of already has the structure built for you. And this is from several faculty at FIT who are already using this assignment, the digital storytelling assignment. So I'm going to share this resource with you all because honestly, it's been a collaborative effort from different faculties at FIT and different departments working together and building this kind of assignment, which I'm so proud to be able to work with so many different faculty and break the silos. uh, let me put that link in the chat so you all can have the digital storytelling assignment. All right, here it is. I'm going to copy this link. And then feel free to make it your own. Once I share the document with you, let me put it in here. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat room now. Okay, there it is. And let me know if you can't get in there.
Yes, I see it.
You see it? Perfect. So let me share my screen with you all. I see people are joining, which is great. Okay, so now we're gonna have at least four or five people in the room. Oops, that's the wrong. Okay, here we go. Let me paste that link one more time because people, once someone joins the room, I don't think they can see the links. Let me just put that one more time in there. All right. Okay, so if you click on that link, it will take you to this document. And again, it's been a collaborative effort, and so I like to attribute faculty like Lorenza Smith, who helped, Lorenza Wang, Nancy Eater. These are all faculty who are actually using this assignment in their classroom. And as we work together, we build and add to this assignment. So the first step to the assignment is to have students choose a topic, right? They're going to tell a story, and that itself, it's difficult for a student to try to figure out, okay, why am I going to choose what's going to be my story? And so picking a good story is so important. And so what we recommend is that um, create like a Google document so that the students can then put their name and then they can put the topic next to their name. And so you create a Google link, a Google document, take the link and put that into your classroom. So that would be the first step, right? That'll be the first step to this assignment. And again, if you have any questions, just please feel free to jump in. I don't mind people coming, jumping in and asking a question. So feel free to jump in. And so that's the first task, right? And so I break it up into steps. That's the first step. We want the students to choose an artist or an architect, choose an artist among the ones not covered in the units of this course. Make sure you contact me to discuss your choice with me. If you cannot decide, let me know if there's an artist or architect among the ones we studied. Now, again, you make it your own, right? You can change this. And by the way, when you get to this page, you can go here to the top, go to File, make a copy, and give it your own title and make it your own document so that you can use this document for the future, right? So feel free to use it, add to it, make it your own. Okay, so any questions about the first part, about choosing a topic for your story? No questions about that? Okay. Okay, and so remember, you're going to create a Google document, and you're going to share that Google document with your students, and they can then add their names and their topics to the list of topics. The next step is then I have a tutorial on how to use Adobe Spark for your students. The whole idea of this storytelling assignment is that students are not focused on learning on the new technology. That's the least of their worries. We wanted them to focus on creating a good story, telling the story, but we don't want them to focus on the technology. The learning, you know, is the priority here, the goal, right? And so a tool like Adobe Spark was strategically chosen because it's very simple and easy to use. It's not like using Adobe Premiere or Final Cut or iMovie. This is a very basic video tool, and that's the whole purpose, is not to focus on the technology, but to focus on the story that your students are going to tell. And so this is step 2. The students will then watch this video, and you can embed this video into your Blackboard course. And this is what the video looks like. It's a very short video, about 12 minutes. And hello, and welcome to this. It just guides the student on how to create a video using Adobe Spark. And I will go into it a little bit in a second. Faculty then asked me, hey, Jose, you know, how can I get my feet wet so I can know what the students are going through when they're using Adobe Spark and creating their stories? So what I recommend is, if you don't want to use my video, create your own video using Adobe Spark so that you understand what your students are going through when they're creating their story, right? And so Adobe Spark can be found, actually I have it open, but let me log out so I can show you all the full steps. Adobe Spark is part of the Adobe suite that we get for free at FIT. And so you can find Adobe Spark by going to spark.adobe.com. You're not going to download anything to your computer. This is all web-based. And so you can easily access Adobe Spark from any computer, tablet, or even your phone. They also have the app that you can download to your smartphone. Okay, now to take advantage of your FIT account and not have to use a free account, you go to spark.adobe.com, you click on sign in, and then it asks, do you want to log in with your school account? And so you want to go ahead and click log in with school account. And now this is where you're going to use your FIT email address. You're going to type it in there. Then you click continue. And you want to select company or school account, right? Because you want to take advantage of your pro account that FIT offers us. All right, so you click on that. And then it asks you to log in one more time. This time, just use your first name underscore last name. Don't use your full FIT email address. So this is just your username and password. And that's your FIT password and login. And once you do that, this will take you into Adobe Spark. There we go. And this is the landing page. This is Adobe Spark, and this is how it looks when your students are ready to create their stories. Now, Adobe Spark is there's 3 parts to it. You have your website, you have graphics, and then you have video. So the way I like to look at Adobe Spark is like the little brother of Photoshop, Premiere, and Dreamweaver. So so if you're looking for something to learn right away without that steep learning curve that Photoshop has, that Adobe Premiere has, or that Dreamweaver has, then these are the little brothers of those big brothers, right? So Adobe Spark will give you those tools that you can just jump in without having to take a whole course on how to use Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Dreamweaver or Premiere. Any questions so far about Adobe Spark? Okay. So As you can see, I have many projects already created. You can also use templates. They have a lot of templates. And if you're a big fan of Canva, this Adobe Spark will most likely replace Canva. If Canva is a great tool, but it's free. But with Adobe Spark, you can do everything and much more than what you can do in Canva. So I highly recommend it for graphics as well. So you're going to start by clicking on the blue plus sign on the top left corner. And now this is what gives you the drop-down menu. And this is where now you can choose if you want to do a graphic, that would be one of these. If you're looking to do a web page, right, this will be the Dreamweaver replacement. A flyer and graphics, that would replace Photoshop. And video is what we're going to do today. And this will replace Adobe Premiere. Okay, everybody got that? So those are the three options: video, graphics, and a page, web page. Today I'm going to show you video because that's what your students are going to be doing. Instead of writing a paper, they're going to actually they still have to write a paper, but they have to create a video, right, of their story that they're telling. So I'm going to go ahead and click video. And so it's asking us for the title of your story, right? So let's say I do Abraham Lincoln. This is my topic. You choose next. And here are templates that you can use based on what is that story that you're trying to tell. Is it a hero's journey, a show and tell, personal growth? There's a lot of templates here, but I like to start from scratch. Most likely your students will do the same, start from scratch. So you go ahead and click start from scratch. And so this is the layout of Adobe Spark Video. Very simple to use. There's another tutorial that that you can watch if you want another touch-up or refresher on Adobe Spark. You can watch this video. I'm not going to watch it now because I'm just going to show you around. At the bottom here is your timeline. So you can think of this as PowerPoint, right? These are all like your slides. So you can add new slides. You can see you have 1, 2. So if I go to my first slide, I can then add a video, text, photo, or an icon. So if your students are doing a video on Abraham Lincoln and they're interviewing a historian with their phone, they might take the video with their phone and they interview somebody. You can bring in that video by clicking on video and uploading the file to Adobe Spark. And that's how your students will bring in footage from their phones to tell their story. If they want to add text, they can type in the text. And so from here, they can increase the font size by clicking on the plus, or decrease the font size by clicking on the minus, or just clicking on the trash can. And then from here, then they click on the record button, right? And then from there, they can do their voiceover over the slide. And so to demonstrate that, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little quick voice recording. But I also want to show you that give it 1 second after you click on the button, because you don't want it to cut off your voice. As well as when you're closing your recording, give it 1 second before letting go of the recording of the button. So for example, let's do one together. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting on Abraham Lincoln. And then I let go. And so this, now you can play it back. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting on Abraham Lincoln. As you notice, it also adds music for me. And again, if you go back to our digital storytelling document, step 3, we suggest, a nice music, speak fluidly and audibly with a lively intonation. Pretend you're making a video, a YouTube video, right? So these are all tips that we give, or suggestions that we give to the students. So when they're recording, they know that they have to speak clearly and to the point And the reason why I say that is because each of these slides, you're allotted 30 seconds of time. And this is strategic because you want to teach your students to get to the point, right? If, for example, if you're in an elevator and your boss, you happen to run into your boss and you have about 30 seconds to let that person know your thoughts and to articulate your thoughts. And so this is what happens with Adobe Spark. They get 30 seconds per slide to record. And if you go back to the resource, we usually say about 4 to 5 minutes total video. I think it's down here somewhere. About 4 to 5 minutes should be enough time for students to tell their story. So you can change that if you want. You can make it as long or as short as you believe the students should do their video for. Any questions so far on Adobe Spark as I'm moving right along? No? Okay. Oh, I think I hear a question. Oh, okay, thank you, Christina. All right, so going back to Adobe Spark, if I do a next slide, I'm going to show you how a student can add an image. So I go to Photo. Adobe Spark provides stock images for students to use. Students can also upload their own images, or they can even take their own photos as a selfie. If you're interested in finding free photos, you can click Find Free Photos. Let me see what I can find about Abraham Lincoln. All right, here's some good photos of Abraham. Let's use this one. And notice the image is a little bit too big, right? So I want to make it a little smaller. I click on the pencil and I click on the minus. All right, and so you can make it as big or as small as you want. You can also move the image, the focal point, right? All right, and so let's say I'm happy with that. And now I want to do another recording. I can then click on the record, click and hold on the record button and wait about a second. And I can say something like, let's see. Okay. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most beloved presidents of the United States, and blah, 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 blah. So I'll stop there. Right, and so now I made a second recording, right? So my first one is this one, and then this is my second recording. And the students will continue to go on adding their slides or footage, right? They can also bring in video from their phones and also video footage from the internet, as well as memes or GIFs can be added to the presentation. You can also create a new slide by clicking on the plus, and then you can also reorganize the slides by moving them and dragging them in the order that you want them to be in. So it's very, very flexible, very simple to use. So let me create one more. I just want to show you how you can do one of these layouts. You can do a full screen layout or split screen. Let's do a split screen. And let's say I want to find another image of Abraham Lincoln. Oops, I put text. Let me just delete that. I'll use a photo. Let me just grab one more Lincoln photo here, maybe this one. And then I'll say something like, I don't know, he was born, such day, I don't even know. See, I didn't do my research, right? So this will be like a text slide split in half with an image. And you can even swap it if you want to swap them around, have him on the left and the text on the right. You can just click on this arrow. As you can see, it's very, very simple to use. It's very template based. And that's the idea, is that we don't want the students to focus on the technology. We want them to focus on the story that's being told, right? And that's the main goal. Let me do a quick recording for this one. Abraham Lincoln was born on such and such date. I think it was Illinois. And I'll stop there. right? So now I made 3 slides. I recorded my voice over each slide, and I've added images. I think I hear a question. Each slide is saved automatically. Yes. You don't have to worry about having to click save. All this is being saved automatically for the student. Even if the computer crashes or the power goes out, this project is still saved for your students. Okay, great question. Now I'm going to show you, so this is the layout, theme. Now, again, this is very template based, right? So if I choose a medium theme, you'll notice that the font changes, the colors all change, right? Because again, we're not thinking about the technology. We want them, this is very template based. So the students don't have to worry about, hey, where do I go to change the font? Where do I go to change the color? Everything is done from here. So if I go to title, now everything changes to blue and the font changes. So that's one of the limitations, right? Because if you go with one of these templates, everything changes and you don't have much choice over the font and the color, right? If you want this color, you're stuck with this font. But that's the whole point. Again, this is very simple to use, and we don't want the students messing, having to learn a new technology. We don't want them to have to learn Premiere, iMovie, or Final Cut, which takes a lot of time for them to learn, right? So I'll stick with the blue theme for now. Resize, I leave it to widescreen, don't change that. And then the last one is music. And if you look at the resource, we suggest a nice song that doesn't interfere with your presentation and also the pacing of your presentation, right? So music might be really important for you if you decide to use music. And so you can preview the music by clicking on the play button here. I like the whistle better, so I'll stick with the whistle. And at the top here, then you control the volume. So I recommend to students to record their narration first and then adjust the volume of the music so that the music doesn't interfere with your voice, with your narration. So I usually come back and adjust the volume based on how my voice sounds. So for example, let's preview this. So if we want to preview this, here at the top center of your screen, you click preview. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting on Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was born on such and such date. I think it was Illinois. And I'll stop there. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most beloved presidents of the United States. And blah, 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 blah. So I'll stop there. So as you can see, I didn't do my research, but you saw how quick that was to make this little quick video. I did that in a few minutes, and and students would then add their slides and their footage, the B-roll, text, images, and video. This is multimodal, multimedia, right? So now we're looking at different types of media to tell a story. And again, we're doing it in a very simple and easy way, where that the students don't have to take a lesson on Adobe Premiere or Final Cut or iMovie to learn how to do this. Very straightforward. And that's what we're looking for. We want them to focus on the research and presenting, and not to focus on how to create a movie with a difficult application. So once the movie is finalized and you're happy with the music, and you're happy with the video, then what you do is you click share, and you publish your movie by clicking on publish. By the way, this can also be done in groups. If you're interested in creating groups, and if your students are working together in groups to create a video presentation or a storytelling, or telling a story, you can actually create groups, and students can invite group members to work and collaborate together on their movie by just inviting students using their FIT email address. and then they all will have access to the same project, and they all can edit the project together. So if I'm part of a group and I'm in charge of doing the introductions, someone else is doing slide 6 and 7, someone else is doing slide 9 and 10, then we all work that way and collaborate together. But in this case, I'm just working on my own here. So I'm going to just publish my story. And this is my title, Abraham Lincoln. I suggest to tell your students to include their names in their projects. So the title of the story and their names. And then click Create Link. This will take about a minute to populate a link. And then once this is done and the link is created, then we're going to move on to part number 4, I think it is. Oh, I didn't put it here. Yes, here. So then now we got to do the exhibition, right? So how are the students going to see each other's stories, right? How are they going to exhibit their work? And this is where then Padlet comes in, right? So Padlet will serve as the exhibition. And so if you haven't done a Padlet before, Padlet is very simple to use. You can go to, from Blackboard, you can access the Padlet from at the top right corner. You can click on Padlet, and then it'll take you to your dashboard. All right. And then this is where now you create the exhibition Padlet. And your exhibition Padlet will look something like this. Let me create one from scratch. So you'll click Make a Padlet. I highly recommend using the shelf template. And the reason why is because if you use a shelf template, you can put all your students' names in columns so that you know which student did the work and who didn't do the work in a like a nutshell, like a snapshot view of the whole class. So here I'm going to call this digital storytelling exhibition. Here I will say something like, find your name, and under your name, click on the plus icon to add your Spark video link. A very simple instruction. They're just going to find their name. Under their name, there's a plus sign. They're going to click on the plus sign. They're going to copy the link from here that we just got from Adobe Spark. They're going to copy this. So they're going to click copy. We're done with Adobe Spark. We're done with this part of the process. Now we're moving on to Padlet. And where is my Padlet? Did I lose myself? Here it is, sorry. So this is my Padlet, right? And as you're setting this up, maybe you might want to change the wallpaper, maybe make it a solid. All these flowers, a little bit too much. I don't want it to be too distracting, so maybe I'll do something very simple. Maybe the notebook looks pretty good. That looks fine. Nothing too distracting. I want the students' work to have the spotlight. You can choose a color scheme, light or dark. I'm gonna go with dark since my background is white. You can change the font. I like to turn on attribution because I want to see what my students' names and comments. I turn it on. Reactions, I like to do reactions, like. And that's pretty much it. I'm done with my Padlet. So then I hit next and start to post. So now as the professor, I'm going to start putting my student names. And what I like to do is I go to Blackboard, and then I go to users here at the bottom. And I go to users. And what I do is, oops, did I click on users? Here, users. And this is where I get my roster. So what I like to do is I'll copy the students' names one by one. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because it saves you time. Because now I know that Margaret has her spot here. you know, Antonia has her spot, and everything is alphabetical order. So I can start seeing all my students' names in alphabetical order. And I'll just add one more. I'll add Tammy there. You might have 19 students, and this might take you 5 minutes to do, you know. But now when the student comes into this Padlet, they know that, okay, where's my name? Here's my name. Actually, let me add mine. It worked out because the letter D will fall right after C, so that's perfect. So then, you know, I will come in here, I find my name, here's my name. Under my name, I have a plus sign. I click on the plus sign, and then I click on the link right here, the little link icon. Where's it? Link. And I just paste the link right there. Oops, I got to copy it again because I was copying names. So I go back to my Spark page. I go to Share, Publish. Here is the link to the video. I click Copy. I go back to the Spark page, to the Padlet, and I just paste the link right in here, right in this little box. And then I click on the arrow, and I publish it. But you notice it's uploading the presentation. And now Jose has submitted the work, right? But for you as a professor, you can come into this Padlet and say, well, what happened to Margaret? What happened to Antonia? What happened to Tammy? Right away, you know who's done the work, who hasn't done the work. And then you can scroll from left to right, and you can see all your students. Any questions so far about this? I didn't lose anyone? Okay. And here now students can comment, right? They said, nice job, Jose. And so this becomes a thread. I hear a question. Okay, great. Thanks, Christina. All right, so now let me show you. Okay, I think I know what's on your mind. Like, hey, Jose, how do I take this Padlet and put it into my course now so students can then add their videos? That's the next question, right? All right, so now this is the next step. How do I add this to my course on Blackboard? And what I like to do is I like to put these two tabs next to each other, right? I like to put the Blackboard tab and the Padlet tab next to each other because I'm going to be copying some things from Padlet over to Blackboard. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So I'm going to go into the content area, and most likely you're going to have a folder called project or whatever you might call it project or something. And so you might want to go into that folder. Let's say it's inside week 1. So you have to be inside that folder, right? And so you go into that folder where you want this assignment to live in. Once you're in the folder, then you click on Build Content. You're going to choose Web Link. And then you're going to call this, you could title it, Final Presentation Exhibition. This is where they're going to put their, their videos, right? And so now I have to put the link here for the Padlet so that it takes them to that Padlet, right? So I got to go back into Padlet, and you go to Share. Click on Share. And you have to go to Add to your LMS as an external tool. And this is the link that you want to copy. So you click Copy, go back into Blackboard, paste that link in there. Next step is you have to click this link as a tool provider. And so now we need to copy 3 more things and we're done. So now I need the key, and the key is right here. It's FIT online, so I do copy, paste. Since I already done this before, it remembers, but if you haven't done it before, you can just click FIT online. This never changes. The same for the secret, but I just want to show you how you grab the secret from here. Copy and paste the secret right here. And the last step is custom parameters. And that's the last thing right here. Copy that. And we're pretty much done. Now, are you going to grade this, yes or no? You decide if you want to create a column in your gradebook. If you say yes, you're grading out of 100. And you can add a due date if you want. Once you're done, you click Submit. And now that's it. It's done. Your Padlet is in your course, right? So it's over here at the bottom. Here it is, Final Presentation Exhibition. Students are going to click on this link, and this will open up the Padlet. And then the student has to find his or her name. Click on the plus, click on the link, copy from Adobe Spark the movie link right here, go back into the Spark page, paste the link in there, and click on the arrow and publish. And now that's how students would put their movies in the exhibition Padlet. And so now what happens is the students are learning from each other because now they can see each other's videos. And so if you require them to respond to someone else's work, you can do so and have them go and look and make a comment here. Great work. I love what you did with this, with Abraham Lincoln. This is how students now can then exhibit work and also comment on the work.
Jose,
Now,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Uni.
Yeah, the last bit of copying Padlet to Blackboard is a little complex for me. Is it okay if I ask students to go into Padlet to the exhibition page?
Sure.
Instead of like going through it, through Blackboard?
Oh, if you're saying just put the link and have them go directly there?
Yeah, is that possible?
Oh yeah, you can do it that way. The only reason why I do it this way, and it's because they have to go through Blackboard, and what that does is that it will make sure that the students' names get posted when they make a comment. But yes, you're right, Uni. You can do it that way. You can just put a link into the Padlet and then have them go that way. It will just say anonymous. If you're okay with that, if it just says anonymous and they just tell them to put their name after they create a post. So for example, they can go link and just put the link to the video and then just say Jose Diaz. That works too, and that eliminates that extra step of having to copy the key, copy right. So yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, you can do it that way too. This will say anonymous, but then you just make sure the students say their names, but it still makes sense because their names already are here. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. I'll try to learn both ways anyway. Thank you.
Sure. I think I heard another question. Oh, where can you grade? Yes, this is the big question. Thank you, Christina. So since we said that remember when we said enable grading when we were in here? Let me show you real quick. We got a few more minutes left. Remember we said enable grading, yes. So what that does is that here, enable evaluation, we say yes. So what this does is creates a column in the gradebook for this assignment. So if you go to Full Grade Center, you will see in the Full Grade Center, oops, where did I go? It will create a column in the Full Grade Center for you. And here it is, Full Grade Center. And then what you do is then you manually have to enter, here it is at the bottom. It always puts it at the end. So here's the final presentation. So then if I got a 90, you just have to type it in. And if Antonia, this person got 100, and that's basically it. So the grades are manually entered here. Yes, it's manual grading. Unfortunately, Padlet doesn't push the grades from Padlet over to Blackboard. They're working on that. That's on the roadmap, and that's one of the reasons why you would do the key, the secret, and the parameters. I know it's on the roadmap ahead, so that you can actually grade students from here, and then it'll go straight into the Blackboard gradebook. It's not yet available, so you have to do manual for now until they figure it out. But great question, Christina. Okay. And if anybody's interested on research methodology, it's a little bit more complex and to do, but it's really worth the worth learning. If you're interested in doing research methodologies, what Padlet can do for you is you can create another Padlet just for the research methodology. And what you can do is, let me just show you real quick, because I don't want to go too deep. I know it's a lot to cover already, but just want to give you a sneak peek. And if you're interested, you can always do a one-on-one with me, and I can help you build it together. But if you really want to do research methodology, one-on-one research with your students as they're researching material to build this video, you can create another shelf template. And then what you do is, oh wow, it gave me the Christmas background. Let me just switch it to something else real quick. Let me use Notebook again. If you really want to do research with your student, you really want to teach them how to do research, then what I recommend is you have to turn on comments, turn on attribution and reactions. And this one you would turn grade. You would turn grading on, because now this is going to be a one-to-one Padlet, which means that students are all working individually on their own research, and you as a professor can see what they're doing for research, right? So here is, you can say here is background information of your subject. So what you're doing here now is you're scaffolding the research for your students. And what you can do this a semester long, right? It could be a semester long research project until they finally build the video themselves at the end, and then you exhibit the video. So if you want to start at the beginning of the semester, you can scaffold all of these items. Okay, now they're doing the background information. What did your what did he or she overcome? Right, so we're scaffolding the research project, right? So this is part of the video, right? You're okay. So here's Abraham Lincoln's background information. What did Abraham Lincoln overcome? What are downsides? You know, what are flaws of your person? You know, what are some flaws? What are the flaws, right? And so now you're scaffolding. So this then becomes another Padlet for the research methodology. And so what you do here now is you do the same steps. You would do share and add to your LMS. Now the difference is that you don't go with everyone works on this Padlet. Everyone works on their own copy of this Padlet. And what this does is now when a student clicks on this Padlet, Padlet will create a new Padlet and assign it to each one of your students who clicks on this assignment. It does that all for you. I know this is a little bit more advanced, so I'm just going to stop there. But what's happening here is Padlet is going to make a copy of this template and assign it to each and one of your students. You don't have to do any of that work. It will do it for you. And then what happens is that the student now works individually and fills in these, these parts as the semester goes along. And you can even add due dates. Don't do this part until December the 2nd. Don't do this until November the 8th. Don't do this until October, right? And so you can put dates as to when these items are due. And then as a professor, now you can see what the student is doing, and then you can comment and say, oh, great work. Good job, Jose, on the background information. Or I need you to say a little bit more about Abraham Lincoln. Or you can say, well, what are more what did he overcome? What more? Can you give him better examples to, or can you give more? Can you explain? Give more resources and explanations. Give so your argument. And so this is where then now you can give feedback to your student that they're doing the research. And what this will do for you is that the final project will be much more polished. Because if you just let them go on their own and do the research and do their the project on their own, there's going to be issues and they're going to run into problems. Doing it this way, it's a one-to-one with you helping each student individually, and then you can add feedback as they're building their project together. I hear a question. Yes, you can do team versions. Yes, Christina, great point. So this Padlet could then be open to that team, like we said earlier. And so in that case, you don't do individual, right, Christina? So here, if you are going to do a team base, then you're going to name this. You can say this will be called Team 1 or Group 1 project, right? And then what you can do is then this Padlet will only be available to those members. And you can do that by adding them. If you want to do it that way, you can add members to this Padlet. And then so they only have access to this Group 1 project. So you can do that too. And so you won't do the individual Padlet. If you don't want to do individual, if you want to do it group-based, that's fine too. Great question. But I must say that for research methodology, this is a great way for you to teach your students how to do research and for you to give them instant feedback, because you're scaffolding the project into small digestible chunks that they can focus just on this one part. Instead of looking at the mountain, how am I going to get to the top of that mountain? First, I got to get through the woods. I got to get through the forest, and you slowly help them get to the top of the mountain as you're scaffolding this project for your students, right? Because if you give them the whole project at one time, it could be overwhelming for some of your students. But it's also important for you to also teach them how to do the research. And this is where then they will be bringing in the multimedia, right? So here it says, B-roll footage. You can say, right? So that could be some B-roll footage, video, right? They can either interview people or bring in video from the internet, and they can then add the footage here, and they say, oh, that's a good footage. That's pretty good. Or from footage from their phone. They can take video from their phone, or a poem. It could be a poem. It could be a painting. It could be any of this type of multimedia they can bring into the project. Okay.
Jose?
Yeah, Martin. Hi, Martin.
Hey, good day to all. Can we attach a rubric to the assignment?
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, Martin, for that. Totally forgot about that. Now, if you go back to the resource page that I gave you over here, digital storytelling, Nancy Eder had been kind enough to share her rubric with us. And you can actually copy this rubric and put it into the Padlet, right? So I can copy this, right? And so this is the rubric right here, right? So I can copy this rubric. And if I go back into the Padlet here, and I like to make the first column an example column. Let me do an example column, and I'll put that to the front. And here, I'm going to just paste the rubric. I can also put in a video from my previous semester once I ask permission from a student, right? So this could be here, A+, 98 and up. 95 is an A-, and so forth. And then here you can say, these are things that I'm looking for. The narrator should speak clearly. If you also are asking them to do a bibliography, here it is. The bibliography must be in the correct MLA format. So not only are they handing in a video, but they're also handing in a bibliography that then they put the video here, upload the link to the video like we did in Adobe Spark, and then below the video, then they add the Word document to the bibliography. So there should be 2 items submitted by the student, the video and the bibliography. Great. Thank you for that, Martin.
Yeah, I also wanted to know in the area where we include the grade, where we have the option of like having the grades, if there's a rubric that can be attached at this point, so that it will help us grade. I mean, I have the rubric. I have the rubric with the individual assignment, but I wanted to know if we can have it in the grade book as such. Like, I know you have to do the manual grading, but it will help if it's like attached, like how, you know,
Yeah.
some of the other applications.
Yeah, that's a great point, Martin. Thank you for bringing that up. I have another faculty who is experimenting with that,
Okay.
and I'm waiting to see her results, because the only way to add a rubric on Blackboard is to do a Dropbox assignment. So what she is doing is she's putting a Dropbox assignment and she's putting the Padlet inside the Dropbox assignment, so that therefore when she enters the grade, you can then use a rubric and then grade the Padlet presentation using the rubric. I'm still waiting to hear from her.
Okay.
I haven't experimented with that yet. I actually want to do it myself to see if that works, but
Yeah.
I haven't got the results yet. But basically, just taking the Padlet and putting it into a Dropbox assignment. I hope everybody knows what a Dropbox assignment is. It's basically this. It's when you create an assignment from build content, assessment. Oh, my computer's running a little slow, sorry. This is what we refer to as a Dropbox assignment. It's over here, if it ever decides to open up.
Mhm.
I have too many things on this page, that's why. Ugh. There it is, assignment. So that's what I mean by a Dropbox assignment, is where then the student has to submit something. In that case, you embed the Padlet inside this assignment, and then therefore you, in theory, you can then add a rubric using the Blackboard rubric tool from here, and then you can grade the video presentations using rubric, like Martin is talking about. That's a great question.
Jose, one very last question, and I hope I'm not digressing too much, but you were showing just now how to get students' emails. I mean, most of the students, I realize that they have subscribed to Padlet. I know we have free accounts for them, but there are a couple of students that I couldn't find their Padlet login credentials. So I think you were showing like how to get the students' emails from Blackboard itself, but I think I missed that.
Oh, what I was doing was I was going into the users over here. Where is it? What I was doing was I was going into users,
Okay.
so that I could create that the shelf template. So I was copying this, but going back to your other question, students, once they click on the Padlet link, Padlet automatically creates an account for them. So
Okay.
you don't have to worry about creating accounts for students.
What
Padlet will also.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What I did, I created just like you did with, Margaret Bishop, yourself, and others. I created the group assignment for them. So I had these tabs ready made for them. So all they needed to do is just actually submit their group work for today for the assignments that are upcoming. So that's what I was referring to. So I needed to have their Padlet login in order to do that.
I see. Here's another example, Martin, of the shelf template with the student names at the top, right? So that's another example of how the students will, and this is great because then in a snap view, you can clearly see those who did the work and who didn't do the work. You don't have to go searching for, oh, I got to look for Margaret. Where's Margaret? Did she do her work? So if she doesn't have something under her name, it means that she didn't do the work.
I see.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks.
Sure. No, thank you for the questions. Christina is asking, off topic but kind of on topic. What would be the best platform to have students share a video presentation of themselves to share with the class? Would it be Padlet? I noticed on Padlet there is a video recording option. I really love Padlet for the exhibition because I think that in Padlet, going back to this example right here, you can, students can see each other's work. And I love that because they can learn from each other. And I recommend Padlet for that, for the exhibition. It can also be done on VoiceThread, which I've seen other people use VoiceThread for that purpose, for exhibiting student work. So you do have a choice. You can use VoiceThread, you can use Padlet. Those are my two recommended tools for exhibiting student work. And that's how we're using Padlet in this case. We're using Adobe Spark for the students to create their stories or their videos, and that's what Adobe Spark is being used for. And then Padlet is then being used to exhibit the work. So that's where those two tools come in play. Okay. All right. Thank you all for attending. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Let me know. I'll be happy to work with you one-on-one if you are interested. And good luck. And let me know if you do go with this assignment. Let me know how it goes in your class. I'll be happy to every time someone shows me what students have done, I'm blown away by their work. You'll be surprised as to what students can do if you give them creativity, especially if IT students are very creative. All right, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye, Jose. Bye, guys. See you.
Bye, everyone. Take care.